Hello everyone, have a beautiful afternoon. This is Shruti Sharma, your educator. So here we are and we are going to talk about the topic digestion in humans today, which is a part of chapter 2, nutrition in animals of grade 7. So here let me see who all have joined us. So all right. You can write down your comments in the comment section. You can write down your name so that I could know that who all have joined us. So here we are. So let's begin with the introduction of your educator, which is me. My name is Shruti Sharma and I'm a well-qualified science teacher with an experience of over 12 years of teaching on various platforms. I have been the part of some of the very renowned institutions of Delhi NCR region, where I have taught them in the schools and coaching centers, and I have also taught online on various platforms. So till now I have mentored thousands of children. I have made them prepare for their entrance examination, be it NTSE, be it Olympiads or various other entrance examinations that we hold in India. So apart from teaching, I love to read, paint and travel. So this is me, your educator, Shruti Sharma. You can follow me on Unacademy, and this is my code SS08. This is my referral code which you can use to subscribe on Unacademy. So let's first of all know what is Unacademy. है क्या Unacademy? Now you must be hearing about this platform on from various sources, like we have been advertising on various platforms. So Unacademy is actually the online educational technology company. So this company, what does it do? It actually provides the online learning platform to the learners, where they can have live sessions with some of the best educators in the field. So it is not just India's largest learning platform, it is actually one of the fastest growing platform. How can I say that? So if we talk about this, we know that we have 3 million plus subscribers. We have 3 million plus subscribers of Unacademy, and apart from that, we have 250 million plus views till date on YouTube channels. So what is what is the main feature about Unacademy? We are giving the live sessions like we are holding right now with some of the best educators in the field. So Unacademy partners with the best ones in the field, be it any subject, whichever exam you are preparing for, be it NEET, UPSC or GATE, any preparation that you are thinking of, you can come on Unacademy. So we have live practice questions with our educator. So it does give you the feel of the real classroom. It's not that you are in a virtual environment. Yes, you are, but still it gives you the feel of the real classroom, where you can interact with the educators and you can ask your questions, you can clear your doubts. So we have, after every third or fourth class, we have a live doubt clearing session. So whatever you have studied till date, you can ask your doubts about that. You can also be the part of the weekly quizzes, which help the learners to test that what have they understood. So now the other important key feature about Unacademy is that you can learn anytime and anywhere. You can start learning from the comfort of your home. Wherever you are traveling, you are in your car, you are in your bedroom, you are anywhere, you can start anywhere, anytime, and you can learn. So for that, what you need to do, you can either go on Unacademy website, or you can also download the mobile app. All right. So you can also download the mobile app, which is I think, one of the easiest way to learn these days because everybody is carrying their own mobiles. So now this is something that we would like to apprise you with, that we are coming up with a Eureka batch. Now what is this Eureka batch? Now this is a batch which is starting on 5th of October and it is commencing on 31st of December. So it is actually a 3 months course which we are coming up with for our learners, keeping in mind their requirements, their needs, whatever they require for classes 6, 7 and 8. So it is the structured curriculum which the educators, it is a structured curriculum which your educators have designed specially for you, keeping your needs in mind, and we are going to cover almost 70 to 80% syllabus of these subjects, math, science and SST in these 3 months. So we are going to have alternate classes. So on alternate days, we will be having classes like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday in the evening, so that you people can join us and you can learn at your own comfort. And it's not just that, we have our classes which are recorded and they are there on the Unacademy app, so that even if you are missing out on any class, you can actually have a look at that later on. So as I told you that you can download the Unacademy learning app today, so you can start with this. It just takes hardly the few seconds that you can quickly join this app. You can download this app and then you can have the plus subscription. Now let me tell you about the plus subscription. Now on Unacademy we provide some free classes where everybody could be the part of it. You people can come and join and learn, but we have a special subscription which is a plus subscription. So what is the beauty of this plus subscription? Now here it is actually the personalized subscription. Now in this personalized subscription, what are the advantages of taking that? You people have the access to all courses that we are offering to till your subscription period ends. So you people can come, you people can access, you people can actually discover that what all courses are there, what all live lessons are there. There are so many videos which are there that you people can watch, which are either uploaded or they are streamlined live on the Unacademy app. So you people can be the part of it and you can be benefited the most if you are a plus subscriber with us. All right. So now these are some of the features, as I told you, of this Unacademy plus subscription. That is, first, very important, that you can learn live from the comfort of your home. One thing. And the second thing is you have access to all the courses. It's not just limited to one subject. You can have the access to English, Hindi, Maths, SST, Science, any number of courses which we are providing. You people have access to all of them. So isn't it a beautiful thing? Then we have the top educators. As I already told you that we partner only with the top educators on this one platform. So you need not go anywhere for learning English, Hindi, Maths, Science, SST. You can have just one platform which is giving you everything. Then we have exhaustive coverage of syllabus. So whichever course you are subscribing for, whether you're going for the CBSE or you're going for, let's say, the competitive exams like IIT, JEE or many other reputed exams that we have in India. So we cover the syllabus according to the exams. So that is also one of the key feature. And as I told you that we hold regular doubt sessions. So it's not just that we are just teaching you people. We are holding these doubt sessions where after every third or fourth class, a special class is designed where the learners can come and ask their doubts before we move forward. So other than that, we are also having the live test series. So unless and until you get to know that whatever you have learned, how much do you know? Are you able to use that knowledge in your exams or not? Are you able to crack those exams or not? So we are also coming up with live test series. So we have the series where all the chapters, all the content which we are teaching you, it is being tested and you people are given the results accordingly. And the next thing that we are offering is the study material. So whenever you are attending the class and you want to check the study material which your teacher is using or which she's or he is delivering, so that material is uploaded on our platform in the PDF format. So you can have a look, you can even download it, you can print it, and then you can refer to it at the time of your exams. So apart from that, like if we talk about you children, the age group that you people are in, you need to understand, you need to know that how to write down answers, because that is also an art. You know certain things. There are many children who know things, but they do not know how to write answers. So we also hold special sessions where we tell learners that how to write down answers to a specific question, how to answer a specific question. So now, apart from that, we are there for you 24 cross 7. Like we are there for you to mentor you, to guide you. So it's not that you people are coming and you are learning and then our job is done. No, it's not that. We are always there. We are going to tell you that how you have to make your study schedule, how you have to make your timetable for a day, how you need to study a particular subject. So all those intricacies of the subject and all those things which a learner requires to excel in that particular subject or overall in their field. So that all we are going to tell you people. So we are always there as a friend, as a guide, as a mentor for you people. So all these are the features of our plus subscription. So I hope you people are not wasting any time and coming to subscribe Unacademy and be a plus learner plus subscriber. So now these are the pricing plans that we are offering you. So as you can see here, if you go for a 1 month subscription, you have to pay 2500 rupees. But if you go for 6 month subscription, then the cost is decreased to 1667 per month. So if you go for the longer period, like if you are going for either 12 months, 24 months, 36 months or 60 months, which is approximately, which is like 5-year plan, so you can see that how much it is, like it is just 800 rupees, which is nothing. So at a throwaway price, I would say that we are offering the subscriptions to you, and till the time you are there with us, till the time you have your subscription period, all the courses which we would be coming up with in the near future, that is also there for you people. Am I clear? So that is also there. So I would say that longer the time period that you take, it would become more and more economical. So you can use my referral code, which is SS08. My name is Shruti Sharma, so it is SS08, and you will get 10% discount for that. Am I clear? So now let's begin our day, this beautiful Sunday afternoon, with a beautiful quote before we begin our lesson. So here we are. Let me see how many of you are there. Hello, Suman. Hi, Aditi. Then we have a learner by the name Pedal Yatri. May I know who is that? Then we have Vijay Lakshmi Chaudhary. Oh, Pratiksha. Hi, good afternoon, Pratiksha. So you can write down here, you can chat with me so that if you have any doubt, anything that you want to convey, I can read that and I can answer that. All right. So now let's begin our day with a beautiful quote, which is, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. So this is the quote which is given by Robert Louis Stevenson. So what does it mean? That whichever day that you have in hand, don't judge it by the harvest you reap. That means don't judge it by the result that you are getting of all your efforts, but judge it by the efforts that you are doing. Give your 100%. All right, do your best, because if you are doing your best, if you're giving your 100%, then sooner or later you will get the best harvest. All right, so what is more important? Doing, giving your best, doing the best, giving your 100%. So keep on going. So with this beautiful thought, let's begin our session, which is on nutrition in animals. And here we are going to talk about these things. Like, I'm going to introduce what it is, what are the different modes of nutrition, and then we will be talking about mainly the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and then we would discuss the digestion, the process of digestion in humans in detail. What all are the parts of the human digestive system, and how do they help us in digesting the food that we eat. So now, first of all, let's understand the term nutrition. What is nutrition? Now, we eat food. We all eat food. So anything that we eat is called food. And that food gives us energy. How does it give us energy? Because our food has nutrients which provide nourishment to us. So this mode of taking food by any organism, be it animal, be it human, or any small organism or the bigger one. So the mode of taking food and its utilization by the body, that process is called nutrition. And how does it help us? Why do we take nutrition? Why is it important? Because it helps us to give us energy, as we have discussed. And then it also helps us to repair the damaged parts and organs. Now, there are so many functions which keep on happening in our body, like we have digestion, we have respiration, we have reproduction, we have excretion, we have transportation. So all those processes which are going on in our body, they can happen only if you have energy, and that energy comes from food you eat, because that food gives you nutrition. So I hope you are clear with this. And it also enables the living organisms to build their bodies and grow. So it is not just human beings who need nutrition. All living organisms means all plants, all animals. So all those organisms who are living, which have life, they all require nutrition. So the mode of nutrition by which they take food, that could be different. Like plants have different way of taking in food, animals have different way of taking in food. Let's talk about that. So we have two modes of nutrition, autotrophic and heterotrophic. So what is meant by autotrophic mode of nutrition? Here it is self-nourishment. What does it mean? Self-nourishment. That means organisms make their own food. So it's not that we are cooking our own food. Like you can say that we just get the raw materials and we cook the food in the kitchen. So that is cooking. That is not making our own food. So these autotrophic organisms, or these autotrophs, what we call them, they make their own food from the raw materials like carbon dioxide, water, light energy, which is given to us from the sun. So now these organisms, which are mainly plants, and I would say not just plants, but green plants, because green plants have this pigment. You know that? What is that pigment? Good afternoon, Avni. You can write down the answers and things in the comment section. So we have these green plants which have chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll, it helps the green plants to make the food on their own using the raw materials, which are carbon dioxide that we get from the atmosphere, then water, which is obtained by the plants from the soil with the help of roots, and some tissues like xylem. And then we have this light energy, the solar energy, which is obtained by them, that is trapped by this chlorophyll, and that's how these green plants make their own food. So we call them autotrophs, and there is one more thing that we can call them. Can you tell me what do we call them? These autotrophs. We call them producers. What do we call them? producers, because they produce the food, they make the food on their own. So now the next mode of nutrition that we have, that we are going to talk about in detail today, that is, which one is that? That is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now here, hetero means other. So all those organisms which are dependent on others, who take the nourishment from other organisms, they are called heterotrophs. So mainly animals are heterotrophs because they do not have chlorophyll. And as they do not have chlorophyll, they cannot use these raw materials to make food. So what maximum we can do is we can cook our food, we can make it more tasty, we can make it worth eating, but yes, we cannot make the raw materials. So now these heterotrophs can also be called, can you tell me what do we call them? Like we can call plants producers. What do we call heterotrophs? We call them consumers. All right, because they consume the food, they eat the food which is made by producers. So here we go, let's talk about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So one of the types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition is holozoic nutrition. You know that? So yes, so we have holozoic nutrition. Though these heterotrophs, they have saprophytic nutrition also, where organisms feed on dead and decaying matter. Then we have parasitic mode of nutrition also, where the organisms, they feed on, they live in the body of the host and then they derive the nutrition from there. And then the third one is holozoic nutrition. What happens in holozoic nutrition? Organisms, they take the food, all right, they take the solid food and then they ingest it, they take it from their mouth, they take it, and after that they break it down, they digest it in their body. Am I clear? So they take the solid food and then they break it down in their body. So depending upon the type of food they eat, we have herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. But the type of nutrition remains the same. Am I clear? Very good, Pratiksha. Lot of answers I am getting from you. So we have all these types of organisms. So today we are going to talk about humans. Now tell me, which category do we come into? Are we herbivores, are we carnivores, or are we omnivores? May I know what type of nutrition do we have? What type of food that we eat? We have holozoic nutrition, but what type of food that we eat? May I know? Who will answer this question? So here, now depending upon the food we eat, if we are eating only the plant-related products, we can be called herbivores, or but generally we eat the food that we get from plants and animals, all right, be it the fruits and vegetables we are eating, or we are eating the flesh, or we are eating the eggs, so anything. So now, first of all, right, we are omnivores, right, Suman? So here we are with the steps involved in holozoic nutrition. So now, first of all, this holozoic nutrition, it takes place in steps, all right, one after another. So the first step that we have, the step one that we have, that is ingestion, all right. The first step is ingestion, where the organism, it takes the complex organic food through the mouth opening. So taking in food through the mouth is called ingestion. You have taken in the food. Now what would you do next? You will break it down further so that the complex food gets converted into simple forms and it can be easily absorbed by the body. So the step two that we have in holozoic nutrition, that is digestion. And the third step that we have, after we have taken in the food, after we have broken it down into simpler substances, now what are we going to do? We have to absorb that simple form of food that we have converted by the blood or lymph. So that third step is absorption. Now, the next one. What do we do with the food that we have eaten, digested, and absorbed, unless and until it gives us energy? So we are, we want energy. So we are more dependent upon the energy which we are getting from the food. So that energy we get only when the absorbed food is utilized in our cells. So what happens, you know that we take in oxygen, and that oxygen actually helps to break down the food, the absorbed food that you eat in your cells, and that gives you energy. So when we say that food gives us energy, so how do we get that energy? It is the process where we have various steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, and assimilation. So after that we get energy. So we are going to talk about all of them in detail, that how it happens in our body. And last but not the least, the last step that we have, great, assimilation, Pratiksha. So the last step that we have, that is called digestion. Now, what do we do in digestion? Now, many a times there is a part of the food which is not broken down, which is not digested properly. So now that food, that is not good for us. That is of no use for us. So that has to be expelled out of our body. So how is it expelled out of our body? By some of the organs which are the part of our human digestive system. So that process of expelling out the undigested food, that is called digestion. So these are the 5 steps that we have which make our holozoid nutrition. So can we quickly recap all the steps? Could you please write down in the comment section, in the chat box, what are the 5 steps? Let me know how many of you remember. Quickly, I'm waiting for you people to answer. So what are the 5 steps? You can write down starting with the first step, which is, let me know. What is that? That is, yes, we have ingestion. Then we have, what do we have? Digestion. Then third, we have absorption. Fourth, we have assimilation. And fifth, we have digestion. So these are the 5 steps that we have. So now let's talk about the human digestive system. So what do we have? So here in the human digestive system, as we talk about, it is made up of 2 main things. What are those 2 main things? One is the alimentary canal. What is that? Alimentary canal. And the next thing which makes the important part of our human digestive system, these are the digestive glands. What are they? These are the digestive glands. So here, let's mark what all are the parts of the human alimentary canal. Now just let's have a look at this diagram that we have. So here we are with the, yes, hi Meenu, happy to see you here. So here we have these parts of the human digestive system, which is actually classified as into 2 parts, alimentary canal and digestive glands. So this alimentary canal is composed of mouth. Then we have the esophagus, that you can see, that is a food pipe that is starting from mouth and that is terminating to stomach. And then we have this J-shaped organ which is called stomach, which is also the part of the human alimentary canal. So after the stomach, you can see that we have these 2 intestines, the small intestine, which is the coiled one in the center, and then we have the large intestine. All right. And then we have these organs like rectum and anus. So all these are the part of human alimentary canal. Now, as I told you, there are these digestive glands. What are these glands? You need to know what are these glands. Glands are actually organs which secrete some juices, you can say, or special substances. Special substances. So now what do? Now these special substances which our glands are secreting, they have a special function to perform. So here we are talking about the human digestive system. So what do? They help in the process of digestion. They help in working on or acting on the complex food items, food particles, and then they break it down into the simpler ones. So we have three glands which are the digestive glands which have the role to play in the human digestion. So what are these? I am marking them in circle. So one is a salivary gland which is there in our mouth. All right. And then we have the liver, which is, which is the biggest gland. It is the largest gland that we have. You need to know. And then we have pancreas. So now there is this is almost a 6-inch long organ which is there on the side of the abdomen behind the stomach, as you can see. So this is pancreas. So pancreas, liver and salivary glands, these are three glands that we have which are the part of human digestive system. Good afternoon, Miss Sonia. So here, let's talk about each one of them one by one. So as I told you, let's have a quick recap of all the organs which form the part of the human alimentary canal. So it is mouth, esophagus, which is also called the food pipe. Then we have stomach, this J-shaped organ, and then we have small intestine, the coiled one. Then around that we have large intestine, and after that we have rectum and anus. So these are the parts of human digestive system, part of human alimentary canal. So equally important are the glands which secrete the digestive juices. So as we have learned that we have three main glands: salivary glands, liver and pancreas. So now let's talk about each one of them, the role of each part of the human digestive system, alimentary canal and glands one by one. So now, first of all, let's talk about mouth. Now, what happens in the mouth? First of all, tell me what all things are there in the mouth. Now, quickly observe your mouth. What do we have? We have teeth. Yes. Then we have saliva, that juice, that liquid which is there in our mouth. Yes. So we have, how does it get secreted? It comes from the glands, the openings which are there in our mouth, which are the salivary glands. So we have teeth in our mouth, we have salivary glands in our mouth, and then we have in between the tongue. All right. So what is the role that they play? So first of all, if we talk about the teeth, teeth break down the food. It cuts the food into small pieces. So teeth are useful in chewing and grinding the food. And we have various types of teeth. Now let me show you. Now if this is your mouth, if we talk about the permanent teeth, if we talk about a senior person or an adult, I would say, now that adult has generally 32 teeth. All right, 16 in each jaw, the lower jaw and the upper jaw. And these are the 4 types of teeth that we have. The center ones that we have, these are 4 in number in each jaw. Now these are called incisors. Now what do? They help in cutting or biting. Whatever you eat, you first of all cut or bite. So how do we do that? We do it with the incisors. And after that, then around the incisors, you can observe your mouth. If you haven't done that, you can actually touch your teeth and you can see that how the shape is different from one another and how do they help us. So after incisors on each side, we have canines. They are little pointed. All right, and they help in tearing or piercing. You know that all the carnivores, they have well-developed canines, because the main thing that they have to do, the main function that is done by them, the carnivores who are the predators, is to catch their prey, and they have to tear it apart, they have to pierce it. So for that, they have developed, well-developed canines, much more than what we have, because we are not doing that now. So here we have, after incisors and canines, we have premolars. So when you move towards the back of your jaw, on both the sides, you will see premolars. Now, what do these premolars do? So whatever food that you are eating, it has to be like you have to crush it properly. You have to grind it properly. You know that we say that whatever bite you take, you have to actually chew it 32 times. But do we actually do that? We are always in a hurry to eat food. We just eat it, gulp it, we swallow it most of the times. Yes or no? But you need to bite it down, because now when we are talking about the digestive system, we know that the food has to be broken down. Only if it is broken down nicely, then only it will be absorbed. Am I clear? So in the mouth, you have the teeth which can help you to break down the food. So chew it well, grind it well, crush it well. All right. And then at the last, at the corners, we have these broader teeth which also help in grinding and crushing, which are called molars. So let's move back to the mouth. So here you know what is the function of teeth, what is the role of the teeth, and how many times you have to chew every bite. So here, when you chew and that food is broken down into smaller pieces, that food gets mixed with saliva. So that process where the broken down food, the smaller size or the smaller pieces of food are mixing with saliva, that process is called mastication. What do we call it? Mastication. And then, as I told you, we have saliva in our mouth. Now that saliva is a digestive juice. So what does it do? Now please note down, it converts the starch into sugars. Now starch is actually the carbohydrate. So we can say that the digestion of food, we are ingesting the food with our mouth, but yes, the digestion of food also begins in the mouth. As we know, in our food we have carbohydrates, we have fats, we have proteins, we have so many other substances. So out of those, all those nutrients, the digestion of carbohydrates, the digestion of starch begins right in the mouth. Am I clear? So how does it break down into sugar? We need enzymes, and those enzymes, come from the saliva. All right. Can you name that enzyme? Yes. Who will name the enzyme which we have in our mouth? Now we have the glands which are secreting the saliva. Now saliva has some enzymes. What does it have? It has salivary amylase. What do we have? Salivary amylase. Please note down, this is the enzyme which acts on starch and it breaks it down into sugar. So I hope you are clear. So now what is the role of the tongue? So now tongue is the muscular organ. What does it do? It helps the food to get mixed with saliva, help in chewing, swallowing, and also the food that we eat. Many a times we eat food for its taste. Yes or no? Most of the time I would say. So when we eat the food, how do we get to know the taste? We have sensory, the buds. We have taste buds on our tongue. So whether it is sour, whether it is sweet, whether it is salty, how do we get to know? When we taste the food. So whenever the food touches our tongue, the various parts of the tongue are there to tell you, to detect the different taste of the food. So what is your take back from this slide? First thing, that mouth helps in ingestion. We take in the food through our mouth. The second thing that we have learned from here is that a mouth has three things: teeth, salivary glands, and tongue. And the third important thing that we have learned is that the digestion of food begins in mouth. And which part of the food is digested? Partially starch, which is a carbohydrate. So are we clear, or any questions that you have? If you have any questions, you can tell me. I am having a look at the comment section. Yes, Pratiksha has said sweet, sour, salty, bitter, right. So whether it is kadwa, khatta, meetha, salty, whatever it is judged by us, it is detected by us with the help of the mouth. So tongue actually. So now the next thing that we have, as I told you, as I showed you in the diagram, from the mouth, there is this long tube that goes from the mouth to the stomach. So that long tube is called food pipe, and it is also called esophagus. All right. Now that runs along the neck and the chest. So now this is your food pipe, the esophagus. So now the food that you have eaten, you have broken down into smaller pieces. Now that has to go down. That runs along the esophagus, the food pipe, and that enters this J-shaped organ, which is stomach. So now the movement of, now please notice the movement which happens when you are gulping down the food. Now you could see that there is some movement in your food pipe. So that movement is called peristalsis. All right, what do we call that movement? Peristalsis. So it takes place through the alimentary canal and it actually pushes down the food to the stomach, the next organ of our alimentary canal. Am I clear? So now we have the next organ, which is again a very important organ, that is stomach. So what is stomach? Stomach is actually a bag-like structure, J-shaped organ. All right, and it is receiving the food from the partly digested food from the mouth. So now let me tell you, the stomach has secretions from three things. Now what are the things which are there in the stomach? If I tell you, now stomach has, first of all, in the stomach, let's quickly check hydrochloric acid, all right, mucus, and we have gastric juice. All right, so here we have, let's see, now in the stomach we have gastric juice. Now this gastric juice which our stomach has, yes, stomach is acidic in nature. So why is it acidic in nature? Because it has the acid. Which acid is there in the gastric juice? Hydrochloric acid. Which acid? Hydrochloric acid. Thank you so much, Miss Neelam. So here we are, we have acid which we are getting in the stomach, and that acid is hydrochloric acid. You must have read now that hydrochloric acid is corrosive in nature. Yes, it is. But it is there in a very diluted form. That means not the concentrated form, not too much of acid, but a lot of water is also there. So it is in the diluted form, so that it does not harm the inner lining of the stomach. So we have the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. And why do we need hydrochloric acid? Because there is this enzyme pepsin, which acts on proteins. Where does it act? It acts on proteins to digest it. It partially digests it. So that pepsin enzyme, it requires acidic medium. So for that, to provide the acidic medium to pepsin, we have hydrochloric acid in the stomach. But as I told you that it is acid, so obviously it might be dilute, but still it is not very good for us. So if it keeps on concentrating in our stomach, if it keeps on accumulating in our stomach, then that can harm the inner lining of the stomach. So we have mucus in our stomach that actually protects the inner lining of stomach. Am I clear? Any questions? Yes, hydrochloric acid has a formula HCl, right? Hydrogen, and chloric acid, it is for chlorine that we have, right, Pratiksha? So this mucus which we have, that protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acids. All right. Now this acid has one more function to perform. As I told you, it provides the acidic medium so that proteins can be partly digested with the help of pepsin. But there is one more function that this acid performs, and that is the food that we eat. It might happen that though we are taking care, we are washing the fruits and vegetables before we eat, we are cooking it properly, but still there are some germs which are there in our food. So this acid, it kills the germs which are still there in our food. So that is the function which is performed by hydrochloric acid. I hope I am clear. Any questions? So now that is about stomach. So now let's move on to this so that you understand better that we have the gastric juice which contains three enzymes. We have hydrochloric acid, enzyme pepsin and mucus. So what does hydrochloric acid do? Provides acidic medium to pepsin so that it can digest proteins. The next thing that we have read is that it kills many bacteria, and it also has mucus which protects the inner lining of the stomach from the secretions of hydrochloric acid. So now from this slide, what is your take back? Like in the mouth, we have read the digestion of carbohydrates had taken place. Now in the stomach, which part of the food has broken down? Which part has been digested? It is the proteins which are partly digested. So here next come to small intestine. Now we will read it later. First of all, let's talk about this. Let's write down what all things we have in the small intestine. Can you see this purple colored coiled tube? You know what is the length of the small intestine? Look at this. It is almost 7.5 meters long, and in spite of that we call it small intestine. It is highly coiled inside your abdomen. So but still it has the length 7.5 meters. So now the small intestine, it has secretions from three things. One, the liver. Remember what is liver? I told you initially, liver, the largest gland. Now this part is liver. This is liver. So now on the other side, what do we have? We have pancreas, which is also a gland, and then we have the intestinal walls. So here you can see that this intestine is getting secretions from liver, pancreas and intestinal walls. जो walls होती है ना intestine की, we call them intestinal walls. They also secrete some digestive juices. So here this liver, it secretes bile juice. What does it secrete? Bile juice. What does pancreas do? Now it secretes pancreatic juice. We are not going into the detail that you people will study in higher classes, that what all things are there, what is lipase and different things that we have there. So we are restricting ourselves to the basics. Now intestinal walls, they also secrete some digestive juices, intestinal juice you can say. So now here what do they do? This bile juice, it acts on fats. Fats are bigger globules, so it helps in the emulsification of fats. That means it breaks down the big molecules of fats into smaller ones. Then pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice acts on all, like carbohydrates, it acts on fats, it acts on proteins. So the partly digested food which has come from stomach to small intestine, it has come from stomach only, na? So from stomach to small intestine, so we know that food which has partly digested carbohydrates, partly digested proteins. So now that food is acted upon by bile juice, which helps in the emulsification of fats. Then pancreatic juice, which help in breaking down further carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Yes, we will talk about villi and large intestine, Pratiksha. So then we have carbohydrates, fats and proteins on which it acts. And after that we have the final digestion that takes place through the secretions of these intestinal walls. So what happens here? Now when you see that finally the juices which are secreted, they convert the carbohydrates, or you can also write down starch, into simple sugars. And then we have fats which are finally converted into fatty acids and glycerol. Am I clear? And then we have the next thing, which is proteins. Now these proteins are finally converted into amino acids. So this is our final result of digestion, all right, which begins in mouth and then it was carried further in stomach and finally it terminated, or you can say it gets completed in small intestine. So are we clear? Any questions that you have? All right. So now we have absorption. Now what is this? Absorption, as I told you, that whatever food that we are eating, we need to have energy, we need to absorb it. That is a third step. Remember, that is a third step of holozoic nutrition. So this small intestine, which is the main region for the absorption of digested food. So what happened? Now this is the macroscopic view of the intestine, the small intestine, this the coiled thing that we have. Can you see that these are finger-like projections? All right, these finger-like projections and they are numerous in number. So what do? They increase the surface area. More the surface area, more will be the food, digested food that will get absorbed by the body. So we have the absorption of digested food with the help of villi. What do we call it? Villi. These finger-like projections that we have on the walls of small intestine, which increase the surface area, they help in the absorption of food. So digested food is absorbed through the walls of small intestine and then it goes into our blood. Yes, Pratiksha, yes. Now one more thing that you have said is yes, bile juice is stored in gallbladder. So we have this one organ, let me tell you if you have said. So here this organ, this is gallbladder. This is gallbladder. So now this is the part where the bile juice, which is secreted by liver, it is temporarily stored. So this is this organ which is storing the bile juice. Am I clear? So here we were talking about absorption. So after we have ingested, after we have digested, after we have absorbed, now what do we do next? We will use the food to get energy. So now the blood vessels, now which are there, which are along the sides of the small intestine, now they will be absorbing that digested food and they will utilize it in the body. So what happens in your body cells? In your body cells, that food, let's say glucose C6H12O6, now which is there, now that will, what will happen? That will combine with oxygen that you are inhaling and that gets converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy. And this energy gets stored in the form of ATP molecules. All right. They are stored in the form of ATP molecules that can help you to carry out your body functions. So now here, glucose, which is the final product of carbohydrate, that is getting used up in the cells and that process of utilization of food is called assimilation. I hope you are clear, which is step 4, which is step 4 of our process of holozoic nutrition. And then the amino acids, which were the product of proteins. They are used for growth and repair of the worn out cells, and the products of fats, which are fatty acid and glycerol, they are stored below the skin as energy reserves. Am I clear? I hope I am clear with this. Any questions? So now we are done with 4 steps. What are they? Again, ingestion, digestion, absorption and assimilation. Now let's come on to the 5th step, the final step of the holozoic nutrition, and that is ingestion. Now what happens? Now the food that you are eating, you are not, many a times the part of the food remains undigested, unabsorbed. So that part of the food that goes to large intestine. Can you see this tube which is running along around the small intestine on all the 3 sides? So now this is large intestine and we have a colon here. So what happens? It goes there and some amount of water and salts, they are reabsorbed. It reabsorbs the water and salts from undigested food. So now the remaining food, which is the undigested food, which is a solid food, which is not without any water, now that goes to the next part of the large intestine, which is rectum. All right. So the remaining undigested food goes to rectum, and then it is stored over there for some time, and after that it gets out of our body, it exits from our body with the help of anus. So again, we have these are the muscles which contract and relax. So we have this anal sphincter here that helps in the regulation of egestion of undigested food. So here, from here, the egestion takes place. The undigested food is taken out from the body. So now we have a question that, ma'am, what is ATP? Now ATP is actually, we say it is adenosine triphosphate. It is the molecule. What does it do? It helps in storing the energy. So these energies, they are stored in the form of the molecules, and these are called ATP, which you will be reading about in detail in the later on classes. Am I clear? So now the next thing that we have, let's have a closer look at the system. So we have liver here, which secretes bile. Then we have gallbladder, which stores bile. It secretes bile, and gallbladder, which stores bile. Then we have the stomach, which has acidic substances, acid chyme, and then we have pancreas, which secretes pancreatic juice. So I hope you are clear with this. So these are the organs. Let's name them. Should we name them? So what is this? This is esophagus. What is this? You can write down in the chat. I'm waiting for your answers. So this is esophagus. That is also called the food pipe. Then we have the stomach. Then what do we have? This is what? This is liver. And this one is gallbladder, which stores bile. Then we have this fifth one, which is behind the stomach, which is called pancreas, which is again a gland. And then we have the sixth one, which is the coiled tube that we have, which is small intestine. And then we have this the seventh portion, seventh number, which we have. This is the large intestine. And here we have colon. What do we have? Colon. All right, great. Very good. Then we have the ninth one, which is rectum, where the undigested food is stored. Right. And then we have the 10th one, which is the anus, where the food is digested out from the body, which is from where it is removed from the body. So would you like to answer a few questions? Let's answer. Where is bile made? Gallbladder, liver, pancreas, or stomach? So as we know, it is the liver. Then what is the function of gallbladder? What does it do? It stores bile. So storage of bile is the function of gallbladder. Then let's move on to the next question, which is name the glands associated with human digestive system. So we know salivary glands in the mouth, liver, largest gland, and we have pancreas, which is behind the stomach only. So now let's do this question. What is the organ where water is absorbed from the digested food and returned to the bloodstream? Where does it happen? It is large intestine. So that is the answer. Now tell me this one. Digestion in animals begins in intestine, mouth, stomach, throat. कहाँ पे begin होता है? Where does it begin? It begins in mouth. We read we have the enzyme salivary amylase that acts on carbohydrates, starch to sugars. Then let's have this question. The acid in our mouth used for digestion. Which acid is used in your stomach for digestion? It is the hydrochloric acid, right? It is a hydrochloric acid. Then this is again a simple question. Saliva contains this enzyme to start the digestive process. So we have saliva in the mouth, which is secreted by salivary glands. So which enzyme does it have? Right, we have salivary amylase. So amylase is the enzyme that we have in our mouth, from where the digestion begins. Very good, Pratiksha. Lot of answers I am getting. Then the lining of the small intestine that absorbs the nutrients. Quickly answer. Very good. Answer this question. What is the lining of the small intestine that absorbs the nutrients from digested food? Is it ureter, villi, gallbladder or pancreas? It is villi, right. Small intestine has finger-like projections which increase the surface area. Correct. So, let me know, protein is broken down into dash before they are absorbed into small intestine. So what is the final product that we get after the breaking down of proteins? Is it fatty acids, amino acids, citric acid or hydrochloric acid? Let me know fast. What do we have? We have amino acids. So that is the answer. So here, let's just quickly recap whatever we have done in today's class. So nutrition in complex animals involves following steps. Step 1, ingestion. Step 2, digestion. Step 3, absorption. Step 4, assimilation. And step 5, egestion. And we have 4 types of teeth in our body, in our mouth. What are they? Incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Now, the various parts of human digestive system include the organs and the glands. These are alimentary canal. So we have mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus, which are the part of the alimentary canal. And then we have these glands, which are salivary glands, liver and pancreas. So I hope you are clear. And the final products after digestion, that what we get, carbohydrates are converted into sugars, proteins, amino acids, and we have fats which are converted into fatty acids and glycerol. So that is all for today. I hope you have understood whatever I have taught you. You can watch this lesson again and again. Please do share, like, subscribe, and please follow Unacademy. Please follow me on Unacademy app, and remember my code, which is SL08. If you want to take the plus subscription, use this code to have the discount. I hope you had a great time. Happy learning and have a beautiful day. See you in my next class. Thank you so much.